I think a lot of the executions that they have don't actually revolve around Saigetsu very much. Like, he's on a Sage. Realistically, a lot of the time it's going to be on the defensive side where he has his value. So I think this, hopefully for them, won't make that much of a difference. I'm more looking at that defensive side. How much can they disrupt? How many problems can they cause these setups? And well, by the looks of it, they're going right in early on. Xiao already just shutting down this early push. Foxy, he swapped his gun multiple times, lands the instant headshot, and then gets traded out anyway.
Oh, not the ideal start for XERXIA on that aggression for sure. Now,
where Angel is.
Left to slow this down, stall it out, and look, with the lack of information that they've got, the vacuum left open, it's no surprise FPX are able to thread the needle a little bit.
Look at the X's on the map of where they died.
What do you mean X's? There's one X, Tom. I see one
X.
blue and I see one red. I don't know what else you want me to go on.
One of them's
there.
a little bit more defined than the other.
That's a little bit, yeah, a little bit of a deeper color there. Stalling it out 40 seconds, you're eventually going to have to gamble that. And XERXIA are making a little gamble of their own, right? They were spread out, they were playing on opposite sides, but now that turret's being taken back from A, and it looks like they're going to be stacked up on B. The right call is being made. Scary still on the back of the site. He's popping down a star as well. This could help get his teammate across, and Sushi Boys picks up one. This is winnable at this point, and FPX still don't know there's another player back site.
They don't have the time to rotate back around. The problem is with the stuns already coming through, it's not going to work out. And that's the thing. I don't mind the idea from XERXIA, but it's just basically what was expected by FPX. They play a slow default. They have a couple of players. They basically use their buddy system just to make sure that it's not going to be an easy trade either way. And if you're going to have Xiao hitting 2 instant headshots on players that look to run around the corner, the problem is as well, I feel like if you're going to make a push that deep, either you have to catch them off guard, which they didn't, or you have to commit to it at the same time, which they didn't.
Yeah. You know, how many Vandals? You got 3 Vandals and a Bulldog coming into this round. You know what? Me and Dubro's gonna have a chat about this one later. That's a heavy investment. That's pure confidence. And Artis already picking up one. He's walking around middle. Could have the Headhunter in his hand, but the Vandal dealing the damage, getting them those orbs early. And they've got a trap behind to cover their flank. This is perfect. They've got set up for post plan. Smoke down the door as well. A little one-way. It's probably a little early, if anything, because the door's still locked.
Yeah, I guess they're expecting it to break any moment, and it did. I guess the way they're looking at this is they were either going to run into the entire team early and have the rifles, or they were going to run into absolutely no one, which they did, and just have the site. Now, already one player has gone down. They haven't lost a gun yet, which is fine, but any other kills that come in here is going to be a rifle dropping to the deck, but it doesn't happen. So FPX now go into this round. This is the benefit. It's obviously a risk. It's a big risk. But the thing is, this is something FPX has done quite regularly, either just going really low and going for pistols and then buying the rifles, or doing this and risking it in the round.
And it certainly has paid off. I mean, just look at the economy of FPX. I am going to call this a bonus round because technically, we wouldn't say this is a power-up, would we?
Rebought.
No, they haven't. We've got the one rifle invested into for FPX as they come in with 4 Vandals and a Bulldog. XERXIA, Odin in hand, looking to defend B main. It won't find anything off the rip, but I certainly respect the attempt.
Yeah, it was more so just to try and give Surf that little bit of extra space, and they are fighting both sides of the map. The extremities is where they're currently challenging, with the alarm bot currently waiting on the other side. Interestingly, actually using more of a lurk onto Xiao in this case. Like, they're just leaving him behind to try and almost catch anybody getting aggressive, spot anybody making a move into mid, but instead it almost just seems like gamble rotations and Artis, well, not quite quick enough, as Scary's going to find the opener.
This is good. They've actually just avoided a Prowler, but they heard it on B main. So with Foxy going forward, seeing no one there, he's going to start to think that B could be a little lighter, and that opens up perfect timing for FPX, you would think, to walk through here. But that turret, it's going to get contact, and then in comes the spam, and this is where things get dangerous. He has gotten them. Able to refresh up another reveal, not going to quite catch them. The rest of the team towards the A side are looking to move there a little later. That's a devastating blow dealt right away. Good recovery with Angel finding one, but they still need to get to a site and get that planted. 30 seconds left, and he's gone pushing with an Odin through main. Alrighty.
Foxy's a bad man. I love that setup. It's so ratty. Just have the turret for contact, you don't risk any of your players, and then they're not going to be expecting that Odin to spam almost straight afterwards. No real way to escape, and a free kill in. Even up against such a strong, quote-unquote, bonus round, it is still a very convincing looking round coming out of the side of XERXIA, and they're going to be able to buy up comfortably into this one. So again, both teams with their 4-buy.
Foxy, you really know how to pull on my heartstrings. You know that, man? It's a beautiful thing, the little Killjoy setup on the turret, the reveal coming out of the fade, and no surprise, same thing's going to be going on here. This is something FPX are going to have to figure out relatively soon. Their bonus round, quote unquote. Ooh, that or's not ideal. Bonus.
He's just wide swung, and actually he hasn't been cleared, but Sidon with a nice couple of shots, quickly trading things back. This is not the place you normally see an Odin.
No, it's not. Probably not a favorable fight, but Cruz is coming behind with another. It's got Scary by his side. The whole team now with control over mid. But the spike has made it onto B. It snuck its way in. Artis up close. Oh no! He got revealed and no chance to get out. Xiao now has to dig deep for this 1v3.
1 kill and he gets himself the ult. Maybe that will give him a chance. It needs to be quick, and it's not quite quick enough. First kill going his way, but the trade is instantaneous. And while XERXIA, they managed to get 2 rounds in a row. And I'm liking the fact that, as I was said at the beginning, FPX have some wonderful setups, some wonderful executions they could throw in to take the map. XERXIA have been nothing but disruptive. Pretty much the entire round. You look at the way it was kicked off by Surf, he's battling in mid. He's taking angles that ultimately you expect him to get 1 kill, dash out of there. Absolutely not. Still fighting. And then you even have the likes of Cruz wrapping around with a pop flash through mid.
Now you see down the bottom, FPX 5-0 on Ascent. This is certainly a map they're strong on, but the setup that they're facing from XERXIA here is causing them a lot of headaches. They know about the turret. I think they know about the alarm bot in mid as well, and this is where we should see FPX coming into the next round at least, trying to really deal with that and push this utility out of position. Already, actually, they're going to be moving towards middle, so whether they know about that alarm bot or not, they certainly do now.
He's going through. You know they're going through. Pop flash out. Xiao, though, is actually going to catch both of them. They expected it as well as we did, but the trades come back. Sushi Boys actually breaks the wall and manages to double up. Now Artis has retrieved an operator. They're going to make their way through on towards the A side, but do they expect Sushi Boys to be here so soon? Absolutely not. Both players caught off guard, and well, he's going to close out with a 4K, an incredibly fast rotation, a brilliant read from Sushi Boys, and FPX, they are being caught round after round.
The heat map of this game will certainly look a little bit funky. Looking at FPX's play, going through middle, everything was working out for them, but how Sushi Boys is able to grab that double on mid,
But they're too occupied. That's it. They were so occupied with... Oh, that's disgusting. Basically what happened was they were predicting that flank would come through from short. Watching in that direction, they get the kills, and they go, well, I don't have to worry about that because my wall is down.
Yeah.
They were wrong.
Just perfect timing on that break. XERXIA.
They got all their ults.
Oh, Angel so close to doubling up on that. He's going in for more.
He's not left.
The shot rings out. Angel knows he's still close, and he'll find him. That Shorty not going to do the damage this time around. A double entry from the IGL as the A site falls, but the spike still needs to cross. Oh, Sushi Boys standing strong.
The others are. Some of the players are so far away on FPX at the moment, but luckily for them, Cruz has now found 2. This is what I mean. Look at where they are. Still looking to make the play through onto short. Oh, don't run out of bullets. I'm just looking at Sider's position and the wraparound slowly coming through. They know exactly where he is because of how much time he's just taken to get the kill. The thing is, though, he has vision onto the spike. Slow, gonna make things that little bit more awkward, but looking to just battle a brawl, and Sider will finally take him out. Cruz did as much as he could, but FPX get the round.
Yeah, it was wise of them to just let their teammate go. I guess they realized the trade was worthwhile. Zipan's life to be able to take that 2 versus 1 fight, and they trapped him underneath, slowed him down as well. Very nicely handled. Now, Tom, we've obviously seen Zipan pop the ult, right? He was on the floor and trying to recover himself, but there's a few more ults online coming into this round. So even though XERXIA are coming in with just some pistols and a weak buy, those trinkets are backed up by some pretty powerful artillery. I don't want to count them out of this one.
No. Well, this is why.
This is exactly why.
Jet knives, of Surf, a man born without fear, as we've seen already throughout this map, and no surprise, looking to actually fight into middle. But you could see how calm and collected FPX are currently being, almost just trying to bait out some of those jet knives, give them an opportunity, and more importantly, give Artis the same opportunity to catch any of the aggression they're going for.
Yep, you can see the jump spot on mid, then a Prowler pushed up through the arch to allow Angel to re-peek there. Very much trying to make sure that Surf isn't around this area, and finding that he's not still here and not peeking, and nobody on XERXIA has been seen going for any crazy swings. That tells you that at this point, they must have obviously conceded that control. They could be tucked up close, but the thing you know, they should push somewhere else. They should try to garner the information in other ways, and well, they just have. They actually managed to spot at least one. I think it was just Cider that they saw.
Cover going on.
But that's causing the rotation. There's 4 players on B and another just about to be there.
He's actually gone for the wall up. It's going to give him quite a lot in terms of the angle. Cider has basically wiped out their whole team, but the one danger man is still left standing. Surf, there should be no way out of this, and well, only a couple of knives away from maybe ruining their day, but FPX will stabilize in the end. And actually, it was Cider's wall up that works. I think we've seen that in matchmaking since day 1 Ascent.
Yep, there it is, up on top, and oh, they had actually seen him.
He got 3 kills from it.
Yep, they saw him, but they just didn't have the firepower to deal with him. I think on the other side then, right, just a little bit late to the party, they had a 4-stack on B, but Surf kind of rotating around, jump spotting mid, trying to see what he could get done there. He's a little late, he updrafts, grabs 2 kills. It means the damage isn't like negligible,
they're prepared for this push. Instant paranoia. The thing is, though, the counter utility's solid. The problem is their own utilities kind of got stuck along the way. Angel will take that control, and although the push looked like it could have got them something, instead, they're going to be forced all the way back, hit out by the utility, but still fighting into this one.
Cruz has been so impressive so far. That utility on point, and he's even picked up the opening. And as they try to recover it, well, there is absolutely nothing going their way in these duels. Chow relying on Angel, finding this flank secure, and Surf is well and truly taking him down. This seems to be a lost cause. Maybe try to make it costly in some facets, but that is impossible.
No. No, in fact, it's a Prime Gaming Flawless coming out for the side of XERXIA. Again, it does seem to be the case that whenever Surf gets his operator in play, the complete dynamic of the game just changes. He's so good at just shutting down angles. But I also just like the fact that you have that push, it fails completely. You then even have the Nightfall thrown out by Xiao, which is obviously going to leave you without sound, without basically anything. And what do? They face. They're like, okay, well, I might have lost the ability to hear, but I can just focus in on that one choke point that you're pushing through.
With 4-4 on the board, operator on Surf. No surprise, going to be what's looking to open this up, but we saw the shrouded step from Angel across to the other side. An unexpected angle. No way he's going to walk into this one. Certainly not walking out of it. Scary. Already doubling up, and Sushi Boys comes in to grab another. That is absolutely fantastic. For an opening duel that went so well, they dealt with Surf, the main danger man on this roster. But it looks like on this map, Sushi Boy's got a little something of his own.
Well, that's the thing. Both him and Scary seem to play so aggressively for agents that a lot of the time are used as sight anchors. Like, you think of the way that most people play cages, like, I've got my little turret, peeks over on B, that'll take contact, then I got my alarm, but if they run through it, oh, look, I got my nano swarms, then I'll run through the nano swarms. Where am I? I'm hiding in the back of the site. And then Sushi Boys goes, guys, I'm pushing mid.
Yeah.
And it's most rounds, or he'll run through short. They'll have pop flashes. You saw Scary there. He was hiding within his own smoke on short as the main utility man on the team. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense the way they're playing this a lot of the time, but it really works, and it's catching FPX off guard quite regularly.
FPX going to be calling a timeout right here, right now. Very low cash to play with. Headhunter for Artis. Everybody else coming in with just a couple of pistols that they can sprinkle throughout. It's definitely not going to be a very easy round, but this is the one that you come in and look at as an opportunity to learn. 2 more to go with. They already have a vague idea of the setup that has been employed in a lot of rounds by XERXIA. And so this is where they can hopefully exploit it. We saw the success earlier on, the faster play yielding the results on A.
The funny thing is XERXIA, they're winning rounds like this so cleanly using 0 ults. Like,
yeah.
They're not using anything because they're playing so aggressively around mid. The ultimates don't really make sense. Like, you have probably maybe the best set of retake ults you could have in the game. You have the null command, the lockdown to sort of clear everybody out. You have Foxy's Nightfall to basically tell you exactly where everyone is. And if you need it, a Cosmic Divide to section them off. This team hasn't played retake once. They don't play retake ever. So it's almost curious that they're just using these agents for completely different reasons as to what everybody else would be using them for. So it's definitely becoming quite difficult now for FPX to actually find a read on what this team are doing, because they are challenging mid, they're challenging positions, but I like the way that it's varied. I don't think they've had the same sort of mid battle in any of the rounds.
And again, that's going to be true. Sushi Boy's this time moving around through short, and it's going to be scary on mid. That's looking to duel it up. He's been spotted, and he's caught. Cider running out in the open. That's nice and easy. No wall to go up this time around, and no players to fall on the side of XERXIA. A Prime Gaming flawless, and that's a statement made.
I really love the way that they play off of each other. Like, there's moments where you might have Cruz in a 1v1 duel, but the second they realize that he is the focal point, every other member of the team is like, okay, now I make my move, now I make my move. Like, there's not even a second's notice of like, okay, I need to be peeking here to make sure I'm helping out my teammates. And, okay, sure, he does the majority of the work in the early stages, but that's where, well, you can see basically 4 members of their team are in mid at the end just to make sure they work together.
I don't know what round they got all these ults online in. All I know is I said it very early on that they had 5, and they used the Surf one, and that was it.
Can we get like a nice little stat of how many rounds in a row they've had 4 ults? I want to say it's like 4 or 5 now.
It must be 5, I'm going to go with. There's been very patient play out of XERXIA, and they haven't needed it for the most part. Although going in for some incredibly aggressive pushes, considering, yeah, like you said, with these ults online, you'd expect a retake play. Still not going to really see that. Maybe the A-site retake, but you've got Nanoswarms down, got your alarm bot for short as well. Look at this global utility out of Sushi Boys. This is not, oh, I'm locking down B with my util, I've got it. No, Sushi Boys is helping every site. He's facing mid, holding B main with the turret, and holding short with an alarm bot. And if they come A main, Tom, the one other place, well, I've got some Nanoswarms ready for him on the site.
Yeah, I'm ready for the plant. Honestly, that's if they somehow manage to get past Surf, which alone is difficult enough. They're going to run straight in onto that alarm bot, so information is there. Surf getting out of this is going to be difficult, but actually Zipan goes a little bit wide. Lightning fast on the second shot, and he's going back for more. Finally, I think someone made the call like, yep, you remember, guys, we got 4 ultimates. You might not need to fight this one.
We can retake this one time. They have got the res off, and now they're going to be looking to plant it. Shao. One popping it down. Nightmare on its way. This could be a little bit awkward, but FPX, they have no trouble in the duels, at least to start with. Left into a 3v2, and another crazy shot by Cruz. One player locked out. Artis has been hurt up close. He's being pushed on top of the wall, but Artis finds a triple out of it. Cruz not known to be up top. That flash, it's crazy, and it's worked out. He now even knows the player's gone towards heaven after not being detected. Halfway stuck, he's going all the way. That is ambitious, that is brave, and well, he obviously thought he'd gone further into short. What a round.
I felt like every kill that XERXIA got in this round could have been put in a highlight reel. Like, you have the first couple of kills coming out from Surf, Cruz as well, like to just ridiculous second shot, and then the pop flash as well was just sick. But this man, basically in the backline, saving them throughout this round was Artis. Huge from him, and that's the thing. Did he just, no, almost doubled his kills. He got 4 in that round. This was so sick.
Remaining.
That is one hell of an ambitious play, and it's just that little bit of misinformation, right? Player was on short, knife goes out, he's not close, and I think he thought to himself, I don't think he could have made it to window, right? He couldn't
it's
quite
either that or he could
enough.
have backed away, or he could have gone all the way around to the spawn.
I think when the knife, I think when the knife hit, he wasn't out of it, but he was just about into the window. Then it actually, you know, reveals, it pulses. He's barely outside of it. If that comes in 1.5 seconds earlier, less, half a second earlier, maybe he ends up getting the information, but instead he's like, okay, he's further back on short. I can defuse this all the way because he's not peeking me. And unlucky. A timeout from XERXIA to try and secure this 7th round. They at least want the lead coming out of this. It was a fantastic start to the half. Sure, FPX would put up one hell of a good fight, but they do not want to be equal at halftime.
No, but that's the thing. I feel like for FPX, a lot of the time you are going to look at this attacking side as where they really thrive. So the fact that XERXIA has been able to lock this out, I do feel like Surf is going to have a lot more to do when it comes to that attack with taking space. Not so much in the fragging department, but with just being able to dominate. Now, we've actually going to technically have a double operator here for FPX because Angel's been dropped one over. Obviously, the tour de force is going to be utilized by Ardis going into this round. And Surf also has his Blade Storm in his back pocket ready.
Ready to rumble. And I mean, it's always good to have that little bit of a safety net. XERXIA certainly ones that are content with using it, or with keeping it in the back pocket, the safety net being there for them the entire half.
Okay.
That's a good punish. Something that's been lacking in the majority of rounds. Ardis in with the scope to equalize things.
Well, what's really interesting is they have 4 players in mid until Surf dies, and then it's like, right, plan over, everybody leave. Like, without that focal point, but they did leave Scary behind. Again, not the normal point for an Astra, and in fact, he's playing the big brain game. He has left Ardis to walk past. His teammates are not going to peek off of this. He's just making sure that nobody goes down on the other side, but he buys enough time that they still just have all of this information. Even going to lock them in onto short here, with them having nowhere to go but forward.
Right on into the stack, and still a nanoswarm waiting for them. That plant's not going to be easy to secure.
They have a lockdown.
Oh, I think they're just outside of it, so that plant's pretty easy to secure, but it is the lockdown that's the real thorn in the side here, having to concede control over the site. XERXIA pop in the Cosmic Divide as well, so at this point,
they can't break it.
You're done.
But Shout's just hitting every single shot. The problem is he's going to be detained. And his teammate's already down. I thought they were going to knife him for a second just to close out the half, but no. They are kind in their mercy. A brilliant round again from XERXIA. Finally, they actually used some of those ultimates, you know? That lockdown that was there for the entirety of the half, but the situation was found. The Cosmic Divide as well, and 7-5. Not bad.
A really big fan of that. Execute in towards the end to retake the setup that they had. And good performance by XERXIA. I want to see what the analyst desk think about the second half, though.
Thank you very much, Mitch and Tom. What a start to this map. It's a highlight reel, left, right, and center for both the teams. But Jess, one player we got to talk about. I know you're a big fan of his. Sushi Boy's back on the Killjoy.
Yeah, the KJ is where I really feel he reigns supreme. I mean, okay, he's sort of popping over to the Rays recently. That was something he didn't used to do. He's on the Jet, as we know, but with Surf coming in, things being juggled around a bit since this sort of year of international play. Now he's back on Ascent where he plays the Killjoy and where he's able to reign supreme across the map. Defensive side, of course, being a KJ is where he's going to be the most effective, but that's where over the entirety of his career as a KJ player, he has been reigning on both Icebox and Ascent. And it's been really impressive from him.
What I really like, though, is that he doesn't play the defensive Killjoy. He's fighting in mid on a lot of these rounds. And that was part of what was really flummoxing FPX, because they expect to get the majority of the map for free. They're not playing duelists and triple initiators that can go and grab all of the map control, and they're not expected to get pushed by the Astra and getting pushed by the Killjoy in mid. It's really potent and aggressive, this defense, and it worked fairly well, but I'm not sure 7 is enough.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, whilst it looked good, they had fade combos B main, they had, LMGs through the wall to combo and everything like that. That looks good on defense. It doesn't translate to attack on this map, and they know that. And that's something they've struggled with in the past. Now it's an opportunity for FPX to really give them a taste of their own medicine.
What have you made of the Astra as well?
The Astra, I mean, I think they've been playing so aggressively that it hasn't made too much difference so far. They've found decent value out of it, but let's see how they end up working it on their attack side. They're going to have to try and support Surf as he's getting into uncomfortable fights and seeing if he can get value out of the rifling. Again, all the questions still here for XERXIA, despite the fact that they have the lead. It was the same score on Bind and they couldn't close it out.
Yeah, let's see. Indeed, Mitch and Tom, let's close this half out.
Well, it's time to kick off that second half, Tom. I have to echo what was said on the desk. I don't know if 7 is going to be enough for XERXIA, but this pistol will certainly help them out. Already looking for a bit of control around mid. These guys like to fight it a lot on the defense, so no surprise. But it looks like FPX, they've got some of the same ideas. They're actually just dominating with Angel on this Ghost. He's taken 3 kills, and just like that, the pistol round seems to be completely out of their grasp. Good damage done, but Angel will find a 4th.
Yeah, I believe that's now both pistols heading in FPX's favor. A huge round from Angel and maybe trying to take a leaf out of the book of XERXIA. Okay, you can fight mid every single round. Well, maybe we'll give it a go as well. I will say that, again, I think that I'm looking to XERXIA to prove again that they can almost do things more so on this attack and base their play around Surf, because he definitely struggled more so in the last map. But I do think we're in a pretty even scenario here. As said, like, I think the FPX have always been incredible on their attack sides of this map, and well, XERXIA did an incredible job just to basically disrupt them all the way through. So I want to see what they've got, if they've got a plan to do the same thing versus that defense. Early
aggression from FPX. It's like they want them to think that they're inside a wine, want them to maybe swing around behind that smoke. And that might be coming through. Oh my god, I've seen Foxy jumping through the smoke from up top, from the top rope. A good idea, but not one that's yielded them any results. This is a strong round out of FPX. Clocked themselves to 7-7. But this is where the real trouble begins.
Well,
you know, regionally, XERXIA are pretty strong on the attack as well. I just don't know how it translates.
The thing is as well, like we've just seen the sort of polar opposite to what we had in the last half, where they bought into all of the rifles. They've now gone where a couple of players have saved up the cash so they can invest into the rifles in this one. So there's still going to be some danger going into this bonus round for XERXIA. I'm mainly looking at the likes of Angel, who's managed to get so many kills over the last couple of rounds that he's actually going to have a Vandal here.
Yeah, it's no surprise to see FPX with some stronger weapons coming into round number 3. Zipban has the ability to duel on range. He's holding a main right now, Angel, in towards a short, but it's the B site that's going to have all this pressure, so a lot of the weaker weapons about to be challenged as they make their way through. Cider, Vandal in hand on the back side, supported by Xiao. They've got to do, I mean, a lot of work up against these Vandals. The wall's going to at least delay them a little bit, the slow as well, and I like Xiao's position. You know, if this is going to be a little bit of a distraction play from Cider, this could work out massively, especially with Angel now tucked close in that smoke. I think XERXIA are pumping the brakes, realizing that FPX might be ready to crunch on them if they do just go willy-nilly into the site. They're trying to at least clear out some of the room first.
Just about able to escape that corner, spam through, going to be spotted, and Surf, a little bit risky. I don't think they'll expect the rifle to be at the back of the site, though. Cider already getting one on the close position, a lot of damage. Nobody goes down. Surf, 2 quick headshots, straight back from Artist, though. And now the remaining 2 locked into the site. I think it's been realized by Foxy that they need to almost reclaim a little bit of extra control, not allow the build-up to come back through from FPX.
Especially with Zipban alive and that utility, they've got to take the fight to them. Zipban about to be pushed on from around the smoke, and Surf's got 4! Unbelievable. We question this guy with a rifle. We know he can do it with an op in hand, but he has certainly stepped up in the moment of need.
I think as well, even though this was a lot of damage, you have to bear that in mind. FPX, yeah, they invested into a couple of rifles, but ultimately they can still purchase into this next round and comfortably. The Blade Storm is going to save XERXIA here, because they are able to have Surf basically play that alongside a pistol, and then they can juggle some weaponry around to make sure that everybody's still in a pretty decent position. The main game changer, though, in this round, though, is going to be Artist. Like, we didn't really get to see a massive amount of, well, I guess from what we've seen from him normally on the chamber thus far, but he should be able to do it on the defense.
They beat the smoke. You don't see that all too often. Surf just running around the corner to take Zipban, and then jumping past and off. I mean, very successful early round thus far. Confidence that's paying off, at least. Look at the rotation they've dragged from FPX. B's completely open.
They're going to get a rifle as well. Like, that's the thing. This is basically just a free upgrade for him. The Prowler actually doesn't reach, but I think Xiao, he hasn't rotated or anything. And actually, look where his teammates are. They started to push up mid, but they've been caught by Foxy in a pretty rough position now. In fact, I think Artist is dead. He'll have to get the timing almost spot on, and he catches him through the air. So damn accurate. And while it leaves just one man to defend this Xiao here from the beginning, and he will be there at the end.
The Xiao show ending early this time around. That was a strong round from XERXIA. Surf swing on A main, speedy as can be, and it just didn't seem to stop. That shot on the Artist was utterly disgusting. There's a reason this man is 18-11 right now. You know, we'd sit back and we'd sit there and say, hey, you know what? with an operator, this guy's great, but he just seemed to do it with something else. Well, there's the rifle, there's the ult. I mean, I don't think I can question him too much more right now. This attack certainly off to a fantastic start for him.
Well, that was always the worry. Like, we saw this roster when they had Padipan, and it was like, is that person going to be replaceable? Like, he was so good when we saw him at international events. Surf is up there. Surf is definitely up there. Same sort of just individual flair that you need from your Jet player if you're still going to be running a Jet. Like, he needs to be able to put up these numbers, especially with that Bladestorm. And as I said, that was their economy saver. That was the problem they had going into that round, that without that Bladestorm, thereby stank. And instead, it ends up actually winning them the round.
Now, Zipan attempted this peek earlier and was absolutely destroyed by Surf. It looks like, coming into the minute left on the clock range, we're going to get that same peek once the smoke has dissipated. This time Surf with the rifle in his hand instead of the Bladestorm, but he's only up against the Sheriff. As you can see, pretty easy time on that. Making sure to clear wine. They're going to go for control over site. Here's the dash through, but there are two players here. The Headhunter finding nothing.
Oh, it's not gone well, that's for sure. Finally, we'll get one with the Classic, and Outsiders hoping to get anything he can here. Shao still with an SMG to play with, but they are being mowed down. 10-7. XERXIA now in an incredibly strong spot on this attacking side, and while we're starting to get to the end of this map for FPX if they don't manage to take this round.
Like I said, XERXIA regionally a strong attacking team, but there was always going to be that question of how does it translate? You know, what do those regional victories mean on the international stage? But right here, there's got to be no doubt about it. XERXIA are able to bring that same level. 3 rounds ahead and close to closing this out. And we have to remember, this is FPX's map pick. You know, after an incredible bind, a very solid performance, we knew they weren't going to come in and look flat, but this is an impressive step up from this attacking side as they move out quickly. Surf's confidence only seems to be compounding.
Yeah, again, like Shao, it's just such a horrible position to be in. He's got the entirety of their squad just running in, and the rest of the team so far away. Just being able to isolate those early duels, and just, at the moment at least, they can't keep up. Angel, well, he's just having to spin around, can't hear a damn thing, and well, Artis was hoping to put this tour de force to work. He's at least found what. Look at where Surf is.
Yeah, that's not an
Who's
angle.
pre-aiming this angle?
Not Artis, that's for sure. 11 rounds on the board now for the attack. FPX have got to be sweating. You can be your map pick and all that, but XERXIA showing that they're here to play. The answer has to be immediate. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pause coming out from FPX after this, just because
Pop Flash was so, he must have gone over it. Like that, do you realize how ridiculous your setup has to be for a man to dash over a flash, it completely blind your opponent, and you be able to see clearly? Like, that is something that they have clearly set up. I think he actually popped it through the little gap in between the window.
Could be. It could be.
So it goes over the top,
off
down,
the roof, goes down below the wall,
and then he goes over the top. But even still, if that's a millisecond early, you're still flying through the air and you're completely blind.
Yeah, if you're in a different position in the air, if it misses even slightly, it's a Kesnet nade, you know, you never know.
That's a cool setup. I like it.
It is.
And they've had a few of them. Like, I think their defensive side setups were brilliant. But now going into the attack, like, I almost am getting the sort of flashbacks to when we see Kesnet play the attack. It's like, you have him as that tip of the spear, and then you have the rest of the team basically doing what they can to set up. Cruz has been fantastic at that throughout the entirety of the game. Like, the pop flashes they've had into mid on the defensive side to give them space through the smokes that are being put down. He's currently sat on 10 assists, but I really don't feel like that even comes close to telling the story of his impact.
This timeout for FPX is going to have to be full of solutions. You know, very limited time to get back into this one. The runway in front of them, it's looking rocky. Look at that. They've got a rifle on Artis. Everybody else playing in with some seriously weak weapons, light shields all around. On the defensive side, there's some opportunities for these weaker weapons for sure, but chance for XERXIA to have 5 opportunities to close out this map, Tom, if they win this one here, and that's what FPX are almost conceding. They're allowing that to happen. Certainly speaks to confidence in their defensive side. Let's see if they can make this one costly. At the very minimum, they've gotten themselves into wine. This is a position they've been very cautious of before. Artis, though, with the one rifle. Okay, only good for one.
Playing through their own Cosmic Divide. I don't know if they expected this to be clear or the player on the other side to be blind, but That has worked out awfully on the other side. They have the information of where Foxy's going to be. You can even see the trap being placed into mid. Xiao just making his move all the way over to the other side, knowing that that rotation hasn't come through. Orb going to be taken for Foxy, but he is trapped.
This 1v2, almost impossible. The angles that he has to clear, but he's deciding to go to spawn wisely. Costs him a little bit more time, but it's worthwhile to avoid peeking through mid. Those steps
30
might
seconds left.
be heard. No, he's just about far enough away by the looks of things. There it is, though. He heard him. He heard him now for sure. That information there to play with. Good early peek. He has got to be careful not to go out too early. And Xiao's got it down to a T. Early rotation from Cider. He won't get here in time. 10 seconds left, though. Maybe they can delay it down just by rushing. Can they see him? Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought he was going to just keep going left and right. Like, oh, you're not going to plant, are you? That could have been awkward, but there you go. An 8th round found for FPX. I had zero faith in this one. And it's Zipan with 3 kills on the Sheriff that gets them. It's the, going through their own Cosmic.
It's the duality of the Cosmic Divide. This, I have no idea why that was the plan. You're up against an eco round. You know you're up against an eco round, and your plan is to run through your own Cosmic Divide without a flash.
And it's not like, look, if there was 15 seconds left,
no,
I'm there. All right, I get it. But there was a lot of time, man.
It's always been the case with Cosmic Divides. We saw it all the time when Astra was played more regularly. Like, the amount of times teams would lose off the back of their own Cosmic Divide, and that's basically what's happened in that round.
Artis has got that operator, as we saw. He attempted some mid-aggression, but got pushed back off the angle. Now he's over towards the B side, and that's perfect. That's what XERXIA want. They're gearing up for A after faking it out a little bit. Still that Prowler coming up through mid, smoke on top mid. They're really trying to tell these players that they're fighting for that control. But it looks like FPX are starting to get suspicious of it as well, Tom. And with this trap down on mid, I think that's the main point for them. They haven't seen anything around there, and with the utility that was put through, it almost telegraphs that this is going to be an A play.
Instantly, we see the ultimate pop. It's going to take away any utility that could have been there to try and slow them down. XERXIA, once getting into these afterplants, have been pretty good, and I can't say I remember a particularly strong retake coming through, except for in the 2v1 that we just saw. There's a lot for FPX to try and find here, and well, they're hoping that maybe Artis can get a little bit lucky with the shots. It hasn't happened. Instead, Xiao being pressured, being pushed, and they are isolating these duels one by one. A man advantage taken, and still so much to find. And while Zipan has just been slaughtered, it's left all on to Cider. No time to really get his teammate back from the fray, and well, the clock already ticking quite far.
A great flank protection by Foxy. He was down on A long, sat there for the entire round, just covering it, and eventually I think he might have just caught the steps over on short, used that as the trigger point to go straight back through. And it's also, because he's holding that flank, and you've got Heaven being watched by your Jet, these 3 players say, all right, you know, we're not going to sit here and wait for them to do something. Let's push through short, take the fight to them.
That's always been the thing. FPX are great if they're given the time to actually have their setups. They're one of the teams that loves to run that clock down and then play back into it. But in this case, XERXIA are just not allowing them. I feel like they've played almost the perfect counter card. Cider, though, I don't know, he gets away with anything there. I'd completely blinded up, sticks around, and Surf loses his head.
I think Surf tried to beat the Sage slow, like dash through it, or maybe he was just wide swinging the entire time. Either way, an impressive connection by Cider that leads them into the man advantage. FPX, though, with some good control, but it's been spotted. Xiao, yeah, he's going to give that.
Why? I don't understand. You already know he's there. Don't even give him the opportunity to try and take that shot, but wall down. You can see the patience from XERXIA. Not wanting to overextend, but also not wanting to allow that map control to be kept a hold of. Foxy, he's actually going to lose that battle as well. Xiao more than happy to just stick that fight out, and now with the pressure coming in onto the B side, there's still 3 players here just because of the control that Xiao was able to hold.
And there's your information as well. Zipan's knife just landing and revealing, I think, 3 of them.
Teleport's ready. 30 seconds left.
Ready for them to flank back through mid, another star going down. That could be problematic. If they can smoke themselves out, get themselves a little bit closer, or is it even going to be the fake? No. Oh, it is the fake. Okay. It's dropped, and Zipman's able to trade out one sider up close. There's Spike, and with this, the round is done and dusted. There were way too many players to deal with. 12-9. FPX need to win 3 more to push this to an OT. XERXIA, I don't think they need to worry just yet, Tom. I mean, just look at those finances. It's not like they'll be taking an eco all too soon.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, on the other side, FPX are still in kind of a weird spot. I think they failed at actually picking up one of the guns. They ended up with a Guardian instead of a rifle, which is definitely going to be a little bit infuriating. Ultimate-wise, the only one they've got online is the Res, and I'll be honest, with the majority of these rounds, there's not really been an opportunity for them to use it. It is either the site has completely fallen, or we've won the round. That's basically it. It's been fast-paced from XERXIA, but they've had these back-and-forth rounds, and the streaks from FPX haven't really been the case. The other terrifying prospect is just the ults that are on the other side. Lockdown, again, it's online in almost every single round. No surprises there. Sushi Boys really hasn't been using it much. But then you also do have that Nightfall, basically just being able to give you all of the information, and when you have someone like Surf with a Blade Storm, that can be enough.
It definitely can, as we've seen time and time again, really finding a new lease of life on that attack side, because the struggle has been there in the past. Like you said, that operator over on Bind attack really wasn't connecting the sort of value we were looking for. And I think they mentioned on the desk as well that outside of the off kills, his rifle kills weren't really there either. But this has been a complete turnaround for him. 22-14, really leading the charge for this XERXIA side. And they'll just need 1 out of 3 with a good bit of economy backing to them.
Actually not going to buy a rifle.
Yeah, it's Blade Storm time. I mean, why?
He's so confident in it.
Take that extra equip time,
they're
try
going.
to spray him down. Let's see.
Look at both teams. We basically got 8 of the players all building up into the exact same position. Very quick stuff from Surf, and already he's going to open up, but there's no trade there. In fact, it's Cider holding the line. The flash is so good, though, from Cruz. Maybe a little delayed to help out his teammates, but it's done enough to give them the sight.
That it has. A plant now secured. XERXIA with the man advantage. They're close to taking FPX's map pick and pushing us all the way to Haven. Cruz, he's really just been lights out so far. This guy's impressive. And you might look at that 14-16, right? It's like, oh, he's not like fragging like crazy, but it's the flashes, man. I think his utility has been just on point from the get-go, even in the previous map. Now, still with a little bit of it left, that nade's gonna slow them. A great little contain. Angel can't do a thing. And a reload out of Zipan even after swapping weapons. They're ready for him, and they're taking him down. 13-9. XERXIA take map 2. They've guaranteed themselves a Haven.